Hello one and all, welcome to the final day of the Pokemon Evolved playthrough. Day 4 begins with me getting all the HMs I had missed as well as getting the bike so I could actually get to Cinnabar Island. While grabbing these items, Fern evolved into its final evolution, Symbisaur, the ecosystem Pokemon. After I had gathered all the HMs I needed, I surfed to Cinnabar Island and entered the Pokemon Mansion. Searching the Pokemon Mansion for the key to Cinnabar Gym was a breeze, and we quickly entered Blaine's gym. Since I have basic knowledge of Pokemon, I answered most of the questions with ease. I did stop on a Poliwag question considering the ROM hack I was playing, but it seems nothing has changed and I reached Blaine with no challenge. My battle with Blaine begins with him opening up with Inspect, and I open with Riggs. Riggs gets burned but takes out Inspect with an Earthquake. His next Pokemon is Teclondo, and he takes out Riggs with a Fire Blast. I send out Sesame and take him out with a Hydro Pump. Blaine then sends out Infernion, who also goes down to Sesame. Nightmare then comes out, and I switch to Pompeii and defeat it with an Earthquake. Volcanicool comes out and also falls to Pompeii's Earthquake. His final Pokemon is Magmolten, who takes out Pompeii with a Fire Blast, so I switch to Sesame and a Hydro Pump is able to defeat him and Blaine. After defeating Blaine and talking to Bill, I head to Viridian City to take on Giovanni. Giovanni opens with Patrofinks and I open with Sesame. I crit a Waterfall and take him out in one hit. Next is the Unit Diglenoid, who also falls to a Waterfall. I also take out Stalagmix with Sesame, and for the sake of the battle not being horribly one-note, I switch to Pompeii. Pompeii gets some good damage against Nilarchy, but I switch to Cuspin, who crits a Drill Peck, taking it out. Up next is Rhyborn. He crits an Ironhead on Cuspin, so I send out Fern and defeat Rhyborn with a Solar Beam. His final Pokemon is Nidominator. I Leech Seed it with Fern and then switch to Wisp, who gets a good Shadow Ball in before falling to Earthquake, so Sesame comes back out and finishes the fight, getting us our final badge. After Giovanni's defeat, I make my way to the Indigo Plateau, but I'm stopped by Spam, who wants one more battle. The first attempt sadly ends in a loss thanks to he who should not be named, so before the rematch I evolve Pompeii into Stalagmix and then go challenge Spam again. Spam opens with a Shockatu. I send out Pompeii and get him one good strength before it's switched out for a Charathan. I, for some reason, switch to Fern, and he instantly falls to a Flamethrower. I then send out Wisp, and after barely living a Waterfall, I take it out with a Shadow Ball. Next is Rylaic. He takes out most of his health from a Curse, so Riggs is able to take him out pretty quickly. Quasar comes out next, and I switch to Sesame. And after a bit of a back and forth with Hydro Pump and Dragon Pulse, Quasar eventually goes down. Shockatu comes back out, but Pompeii's able to defeat it quickly, and next is Tazarkart, who is usually a pretty big problem for me as I don't really have an answer for it, but luckily Riggs is able to get a crit Fake Out, taking it out. And Fernion takes out his final Pokemon, Exectric. After defeating Spam, I make my way through Victory Road and reach the Pokemon League. My Pokemon League challenge begins with Lorelei. She opens with a Lickalato. I open with Fern, but quickly switch to Apollo and defeat him with a Flamethrower. Next is Manatite, who decides to be annoying and keeps spamming Yawn, and after a slow process, eventually falls to Sesame. Glacial comes out next, and he keeps using Protect and Out of Defense to just become a wall that I can't really do a lot of damage to, until I switch to Apollo and very quickly defeat it with a Flamethrower. Up next is Nessa, who also goes down to Pompeii. After Nessa is Jeepers. She takes out Apollo and Riggs, and I think she had Snow Cloak or something, because almost everything I did just would not hit her. That is until Wisp is finally able to take her out, which leads to her final mon, an ice variant of Missing Note. Wisp is also able to defeat it, defeating Lorelei and getting us through the first member of the Elite Four. Up next is Bruno. He opens with a Radichan, I open with Wisp. Wisp gets some good damage in, but gets created by a Shadow Punch. Sesame comes out and barely gets a win against Radichan. Up next is Bombell. I switch to Apollo and defeat him with a Flamethrower. Bruno then sends out his Missing Note, who goes down to an Earthquake from Pompeii. Next is Spiritually, who also goes down to Pompeii. Mac Titan comes out and gets poisoned by Fern and then taken out by Riggs. His final Pokemon is Polyath, who falls to Fern's Solar Beam. Agatha opens with Falanton. Apollo is able to defeat it with a Bite. Next is Oxenfree. I Leech Seed it with Fern and then switch to Pompeii, defeating Oxenfree and Yoka Yugi. Next is Raywrath, who goes down to Wisp. Agatha sends out Grim, who also falls to Wisp, and then she sends out her Missing Note, who, like the rest of them, falls down to Wisp. We have now reached the Dragon Master Lance. Lance opens with a Pinadra, and I'm able to take it out with Sludge Bomb and Leech Seed. Next is Quasar. He takes out Fern and Wisp, so I send out Riggs, who's able to live a Surf and defeat it with Slash. Up next is Dragondale. He takes out Riggs, so I send out Sesame, and I spam a bunch of Surfs and Waterfalls, and eventually it falls. After Dragondale is Fortunity. He takes out Sesame, so I switch to Fern and I Leech Seed and Sludge Bomb it until it's defeated. Lance then sends out his Missing Note but quickly switches to Dodonzo. I revive Pompeii and defeat Dodonzo with Iron Tail. Missing Note returns and also falls to Pompeii. We have now finally reached the final battle. Spam, my rival and champion of the Kanto region. He opens with a Volt Duo, but quickly switches to Charthan, so I switch to Fern and try to Leech Seed it, but crit Heat Wave takes me out before I can even do anything. I send out Wisp and get one Shadow Ball in before going down. Sesame then comes out and takes out Charthan with a Waterfall. It's also where I realized I probably should have just led with Sesame because he is still a Fire type at the end of the day. Volt Duo comes back out, but again switches out once it sees Pompeii. Rhyborn comes out and falls to Pompeii's Earthquake. Next, the old one comes out and it misses a Muddy Water, so a crit slash from Riggs is able to take it out. Spam then sends out Dragon Tail. He takes out Sesame with a Sky Attack. Apollo comes out, and for some reason I used Bite instead of Shadow Ball, failing to take it out, so Apollo also goes down. I revive Wisp, and 2 Shadow Balls later, it's down. His next mon is Mew 4. Wisp does some great damage, and Pompeii is able to defeat it. His final Pokemon is Volt Duo, who can't really do anything to Pompeii besides Drill Peck, so Pompeii is able to defeat it, making us the champion. Hey, thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you did enjoy. And yeah, that's it for Evolved. A little bit quicker than most of my playthroughs, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. This mod is amazing. Please check it out if you have it. Not sure what I'm going to do for the next playthrough just yet. I have a couple ideas, but nothing set in stone, so I'll get back to you on that. But hope you're excited nonetheless. Bye-bye.